Hello and welcome to Queer Abbey, a weekly chat show that is performed, recorded, and produced by yours truly. Hi everyone, welcome to the 14th episode of Queer Abbey. It's Virgo season. I like Virgo season. I know that Virgos get the rap as being like the anxious, naggy kind of sign. I always think of it as the like dork, nerdy stereotype from like 2000 sitcoms. The person that's like, oh, I need to have my color-coded notes in order. Like Virgos are the people that lean into that stereotype and they like that about themselves. And I like that. Virgo men are like these like clueless, beautiful boys that are like, I just am just trying to be the perfect man. And then Virgo women are like astute, powerful people that like have pencils in their pocket at all times and take really clear and pretty notes. Like there's little doodles and fun stuff. Anyway, you get the point. I like Virgo as a sign. It's the 6th house and it has a lot of ties to like health and your body and how you use your body in the world. So it's also ruled by Mercury. It's the sort of cousin to Gemini, which is also ruled by Mercury. And Mercury has to do with information. So Virgos are ones that store information all the time. They're always trying to remember things for later and sort that information, right? So Virgo to me means organization. It means health. In a way, it's like this like structured innocence. That's a little bit woo-woo, but yeah, the sign is the Virgin, and there's something, an aspect of purity that's associated with Virgo as well. Not in the classical sense that people who are not virgins are unpure, but I think it represents like the idea of virginity itself, not just within sex, but Virgo is that which has been sanctified or purified or made clean. A little astrology tea. My moon sign is in the house of Virgo, and that's my mystical explanation for why cleaning my house makes me feel so much better. Because when I have like a lot of muck going on in my heart and I just am like feeling confused or bogged down, cleaning and kind of working up a sweat and getting my space to a spot that feels really nice, it just heals me, you know? So maybe if you have a similar placement, you should clean your house and you'll feel much better. Or in general, I think that applies to everyone. It just feels nice to clean your little apartment. But me especially, because of astrology. Speaking of perfectionism and rules and things of that nature, I love to bake, but I do not have the obedience to be good at it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I understand that, especially baking, but cooking too, it's a science and there's an exact nature to it and an explanation behind all of the ingredients and measurements. But for some fucking reason, as soon as I get 3 ingredients deep into this baking recipe, they start saying, oh, you need to sift the flour together with this, or you need to use cake flour. And I'm like, well, no, I don't, because I'm just being creative. And then I end up wasting a bunch of stuff. So I'm trying to stick to recipes more as I get older. And let me tell you, it is working out for me, because I made a cheesecake this week and it was so fucking good. It was so good. Cheesecakes, you have to bake at like a consistent low temperature, so you put them in a water bath, and I like followed all the instructions down to the T. I got myself a cheesecake pan. I went to the store and got all of the specific ingredients, and it turned out really well. What do you know? When you follow the recipe, it actually helps. Cheesecake, so good. Oh my god, I love it. It's really expensive though. For my birthday, my friend got me a small cheesecake and I was astounded at how much it cost. So from that moment on, I was set on learning how to make it. And yeah, not that hard if you just kind of know the process. do the little water bath, and then when it's done baking, it takes like a solid hour at a lower temperature. You turn the oven off and leave it in there and let the oven cool down completely, so that way it doesn't go and hit the cold air and cool down too fast, because that's what makes the cheesecake like crack or have like a weird texture. So anyway, that's my cheesecake tea for you. I think that making cheesecake is very Virgo oriented. There's a lot of rules. There's like a right and a wrong way to do it, and if you do it the wrong way, it might taste good, but it's not cheesecake. Another thing I did this week was I went to the nude beach with my friends. There are several in the greater Portland area, but there's one that I hadn't been to and my friends brought me to, and it wasn't necessarily my intention to like strip naked and tan, but once I got there, everybody was naked and I felt actually kind of weird wearing clothes because we were in the nude section of the beach. And yeah, I stripped naked and I felt like a beautiful trans Venus prancing around in the Columbia. Not really. I was thinking about how many heavy metals are probably in the water, and I freaked out every time that I touched seaweed with my naked body. But I did enjoy myself nonetheless, and it felt really nice to lay in the sunshine and feel the sun on my butt. You know? It's not often that we go outside naked. And so I think, yeah, that's maybe an important thing for humans to do. I'm not sure, but it felt good. Long legs. Long legs has been a topic of discussion for me as well. I'm checking my notes, yeah. My coworkers at work urged me to watch it, and I enjoyed it. I smoked a really potent little sativa time and then put it on and watched it by myself in the dark, and some of the like jumpy scares and moments where you see like the devil in the background all insidiously, they freaked me out. But I have to say, I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10 because all of the cinematic horror elements were there and I really enjoyed them. I was scared, but something about movies where the plot line is like satanic. I'm not going to go crazy into spoilers right now or anything, but like the movie is about, you know, spooky occult killings, right? And it's like, oh, well, yeah, Satanism. And I think that that's always a little bit lazy, the way that I've seen it done, at least, because there's just like a lack of motive. I want to understand these characters more and like why they're doing these occult things. As somebody who's interested in the occult, I found that as a kid a lot too, where I'm watching these movies and I'm like, okay, but like what are the rules here? Like why is she getting the babies and stuff? Like, you know, like how occult things go in movies where you have this like evil devil worshipping person that's trying to like get their kids or something, but you never know why. And that's always the question that comes to mind. What are you going to get from this bargain? Like, why are you a Satanist? What does the devil do for you? Because everybody has a reason to do something, even in fictional universes. We think up these characters because they represent something. So it's like, why do those characters exist in our mind? What is the Rosemary's Baby is another example. That one has a little bit more of a plot line where it's like they're trying to bear the Antichrist into the world. I think it's okay to spoil Rosemary's Baby because that one is from like 1970. Yeah, they're trying to like create the Antichrist by like tricking this poor young lady into getting pregnant with the devil or whatever. But yeah, these movies, they lack plotline. Tell me why. Tell me more about the devil. I want to know. Yeah, as it turns out, I actually love horror movies. I don't know if we know this about Wilson, but ever since I was little, my parents were not supervising me. So when Netflix came around when I was like 12, bitch, I just started watching every horror movie that there was. And before that, we would get stuff on like Redbox and watch them together when I was a young child. And my parents would rent scary ass movies and then like let me watch them with them. Oh God, I watched the movie, it's called like The Lady in White or something. It's about this like scary vampire hitchhiker lady that murders this family. We watched The Descent when that came out. It was when I was like 7. That movie scared the shit out of me when I was little. But I think it did instill this like love of scary things and an appreciation for a film that can put me in that state of mind. Like, oh my God. I also had chronic nightmares as a child, so maybe those things are linked, but all in all, now I like spooky movies. They make me happy. If a movie can make me suddenly self-aware of like if my windows are locked and it's got me walking around the house like, okay, let's just say a couple little prayers, do a couple little spells here just to make sure we're good, then you know it's a good movie because it's instilled itself into my subconscious. Longlegs didn't get there for me. There was a few moments during the film where I was scared and I looked around for sure, but yeah, there are some films that just stick in my subconscious. There is this one Stephen King based film. It's based off of one of his books called Mercy. That is one movie that continues to scare me into adulthood. It's about this like Appalachian grandma, and she's this kind of like witchy lady whom you assume is a protagonist in the beginning of the film, but she starts to become senile and her grandson moves back in with her to take care of her, and she's like losing control over all of her connections with the spirits and the earth and everything starts to go awry, and she becomes like, yeah, I won't spoil it further than that because it's actually a really good movie, but it's sort of like how her senility plays into her connection with the earth, and it manifests into this very scary occult climax. So give that film a watch. That's one that had a plot point for me and had me wondering about like, okay, like why, when, where, and it just legitimately scared me so many times because it has some good little jump scares in there. Mercy. If you are French, you probably think I am very polite now. Merci. Well, without further ado, let's move into the advice segment for this week. Yay! Let's do a little bit of advice time. Our first submission this week is from an anonymous caller, and it says, Queer Abbey, can I eat this Subway sandwich even though it's 4 days old? I'm starving, and I could scarf down almost anything right now. I don't mind if the sandwich is soggy, but can I eat a 4-day-old sub that's been completely refrigerated? ? I'm gonna go ahead and make the assumption that you may have crossed this bridge by the time this episode comes out, my friend. Maybe you should let me know how that worked out for you, because it sounds like you were just gonna do it anyway. My honest opinion is that no, you probably should not eat a sandwich that is 4 days old, because there's a lot of moisture in all of the inner components of the sandwich, and that's just sort of a breeding ground for bacteria, especially like greens and things like that. It's funny because like foods that are healthier for us, I make the assumption like, oh well, they don't go bad as much, but that's not true. Like lettuce can really be a culprit for harboring bacteria and growing it. If it was refrigerated, you're probably fine, because on the other hand, you know, people eat weird shit all the time and don't die. So I don't know, do what you want. I wouldn't. I think that you have the potential to get some food poisoning from that, but who cares, really? I can't. My mother was so like uptight about cleaning out the fridge when I was growing up, which I am grateful for. I actually shouldn't put it that way. I have a rocky relationship with my mom, but one thing that she was hygienic, and that was a boon to me, because damn it, other people have parents that live in a pigsty and are hoarders, etc., and that's a different hill, right? But my mom kept the house very clean, and if anything, she would throw stuff away before you even had the chance to eat it, right? Old clothes and things like that. She was very efficient at tucking things away and recycling and donating stuff, probably too much, actually. But I didn't deal with a lot of like expired food or have many like gross experiences when I was growing up, like accidentally eating anything expired. So that's lovely. But then when I became an adult and I realized the turnover of food, like how quickly things spoil, I've become just as anal as her now. She instilled that fear within me where I probably don't eat anything that's like more than 2 days old. If it's been in my fridge, like, and it's a prepared meal, leftovers, yeah, obviously it's different if it's something else with like an expiration date. That's not what I mean. But if I get food at work and then I come home and put it in the fridge, bitch, 24 hours, to be honest. Because after that, my brain cannot let go of the fact that like there could be something in there that's like growing bacteria, and it grosses me out. It also depends on how hungry I am. So maybe if I was where you're at right now, I would eat the 4-day-old sandwich too. All right, hope you're okay. Next. The second submission this week is from another illiterate, is from another anonymous caller, and it says, Queer Abbey. I've been the clown at work for over 9 months. I just quit my job, and I've realized that the entire time there was something everyone can see except for me. Come on, poet. That being the persona I put on around my coworkers. I tried too hard to be charismatic and funny, and I can see it now clear as day, and it's really sad. Okay, well, that was not a question. That was a statement, but I will comment on it because you put it in my inbox. You were the clown at work, and clearly you seem upset. You seem disappointed in yourself that there's some sort of disparity between your personality in one space and what you feel is your true personality. But let me tell you a secret. All of the quote personalities that are within you that you call upon when you're at work or school, they are still a part of you. It doesn't make it not you just because you are like being selective about which face you're showing. That is a part of you, right? You clearly have the capability and the capacity to be clownish. But what the important part is that you're noticing how it doesn't feel good to force that persona. You don't have to be funny, even though being funny is something that people like. That's not the point of being alive, is to be liked. The point is to pursue your own happiness, to feel good, to make connections, to be uncomfortable sometimes, but not just at the will of others, and to help other people avoid any discomfort. Bitch, if you don't want to be the funny coworker and come in and tell a joke every day, don't. Bitch, don't, if it's draining for you. You can come in and you can just be like, do your job. Isn't that a concept? We don't have to be perfect all the time. And this is an example of how much pain it can cause us when we try to strain out all of our imperfections. It's not sustainable to, only show people a little sliver of your personality. Both of those things are true. That's a part of you. That's something you can call upon if and when it feels good and it helps you. But don't force yourself to be the clown at work if you find yourself 9 months later feeling like a dipshit because you didn't get anything out of it. You were well liked by your coworkers while you had this job, but you obviously left because there wasn't prospects there for you or something happened. I'm not sure, right? So figure out what works for you and what is working in your favor. If you come home at the end of the day and you feel like shit, you better ask yourself why. But it's okay. Maybe you should be a comedian since you're such a clown. Sorry. Next question. This final submission came to me through the Queer Abbey email, and is from someone who called themselves Bubba Gump. It says, Queer Abbey, I really admire your ability to talk to strangers and was curious if you had any tips on how to talk to new people or strangers. I struggle with isolation and want to branch out and make more friendships and connections. I've tried the idea of asking questions to get to know someone, but they usually sound too formal or interviewee. Are there any better ways you think to break the ice? Well, I'll say, I think I recognize the grammar of this submission, and so there's that. Yes, having social skills it looks different for everybody. And I think it's easy to imagine what you're supposed to be like and watch other people interact and wonder why you're not like that, but comfort and connection with other people comes from having that comfort with yourself. So identify what it is that makes you feel so silenced. Why do you feel that you don't want to talk to strangers? If you can maybe get a better idea of that, then you could get a handle on how to fix it. I don't know. And nothing is that black and white, but basically, I think I have come to a place in life and done a lot of work to be comfortable with who I am. I've moved states. I've cut ties with people. I've regained some of those ties. I've been through a lot of discomfort in my life to arrive at a place where I feel confident in the fact that I'm fine, But yeah. Life is hard, and we all walk around with the burden of shame and feeling like there's something wrong with us. But the solution, the cure to that is to let yourself connect with other people anyway, because that's actually everybody's reality. We're all worried that we're unlovable in some way. So maybe view your problems as that, one in a bucket of a million. There are so many people in the world, and if our existence is just a blip, how can we be spending so much energy on these micro interactions, right? It's not that serious. Like, you can just let it flow and be awkward. Like, who cares if you don't know what the right thing to say is? Because there isn't the right thing to say. And all you can really change is the way that you feel about it. So, who cares? Embrace being awkward. Let it happen. You're a star. If this is the person that I think it is, you know that you have it within you to be social and connect with people. People like you. You're a star. Okay. That's going to wrap it up for our advice segment this week. Yay! Alrighty. That was a juicy one. A good little segment, I would say. And so now it is time to introduce our musical spotlight for this week. I am excited about this one. It is a demo single that was recently released just within the last 2 weeks by somebody that I know from school in the past. We have hung out a couple times. It's a really cool person. Their artist name is Littletide, and this demo is called Keep the Windows Open. We had a brief conversation about what this song means, and after listening to it a couple times, I appreciate it more and more. It has this very laid-back, very intimate sonic character, right? This person, their name is Lily. They have a gorgeous voice. They sing with this very soft, consistent tone. It's recorded in this very warm kind of atmosphere. I'm not sure about the production of this. It sounds very professional, so I'm assuming that they recorded it in a studio, or they very adeptly recorded it in some home environment. But yeah, really close, hot mic, very intimate, warm sound, and they're singing about this kind of melancholic theme of keeping the window open, which to them represents not being able to settle for things in life. It's a form of self-sabotage that we experience as humans, where even though we have the things that we probably need and want, we still want to keep the window open in case that fear comes in and we want to run away. I think we experience this a lot in relationships, specifically when we have somebody that brings a lot of joy into our life, but there's always that worry of, well, what else is there? What do I need to run away, and when, and how am I going to escape? And yeah, the inability to commit, because it's scary. It's scary to say that something is enough for you, you know? So something that I took away from this song was the importance of embracing the love that's in your life already, that's in front of you. You don't always have to have an escape plan. It's okay to take life as it comes. Yeah, so let's get into this beautiful song one more time. This is going to be Keep the Windows Open by Littletide. Yeah, so that is amazing. Littletide, as I'm gathering, has a very, very intimate kind of vibe. I think that's important to this person. This pared back, minimalist sort of nature with the static guitar chord, but then these gorgeous floating harmonies come in. Yeah, really admire the vocal tone and the production on this song. It sounds like they're really close to the mic, singing very softly, and I can hear them harmonizing with themselves, and it's all layered very, very elegantly together. So yeah, go ahead and check this person out. I know that they are on SoundCloud as Littletide. As always, I will have a link to the song in the episode description, and I would encourage you to look out for further projects from this person. Well, that's going to bring us toward the end of this episode. This is your thanks for supporting me by listening. I really appreciate you being here all the way at the end of the episode. And also your obligatory reminder that you can be featured on the podcast if you want. You can submit for anonymous advice, or you can even have your music featured on here if I like it. You can reach us through the link in the bio. That's our anonymous inbox. You can just punch something in and send it to me, and I'll have no idea who you are. Or you can reach us from our phone number. Leave us a message or a voicemail at 503-567-2053. or our email, which is queerabby@gmail.com. That's QUEERABBEY@gmail.com. Well, I'll see you queerdos next week, next Sunday for Queer Abbey. Bye now.